Midnight lab light, the steady hum, the slow recorder ticks. I lay the dead out like bones beneath a lamp that never quits. Load cycles on the ledger, every whisper locked in rows. Fatigue snares in the margins where the quiet motion goes. You were a structure built of promises, welded seams and ghost-lit plans. I mapped the force vectors, plotted where the pressures land. There's a notch in your silence, a stress razor in your tone. I held the microscope to us and watched the grain begin to groan. I ran simulations on a heart that wouldn't yield. Checked the fracture toughness of the vows we used to shield. Found a pattern in the micro cracks, a signature in rust. The truth corrodes in cycles, the truth is never just. Where did it start? Where did the first crack form? At the joint between goodbye and storm. I followed every line of load until the final part. Failure mode analysis, finding where the heart cracked first. I traced the initiation to a notch of quiet hurt. Failure grows in silence. The biggest damage comes at first. Stress intensity rose with every word left unsaid. Paris law in practice, small cycles made the crackhead. A tiny corrosion pitted just beneath the varnish thin. And under every reasonable safety factor you gave in. Residual stress from secrets, thermal shock from sudden cold. A brittle shift in manners where the warm hands used to hold. Finite elements of memory mesh type of prone to tear. We skip the redundancy that keeps the fragile from despair. I performed non-destructive tests on all the things you kept. Ultrasound on alibis, the echo of the promises wept. Rucus traced back to the scene where silence met the load. Crack initiation point the place our story showed its start. Where did the first crack form? At the well between the truth and storm. I followed every line of load until the final part. Failure mode analysis, finding where the heart cracked first. I traced the initiation to a notch of quiet hurt. Failure grows in silence. The biggest damage comes at first. You say it was a sudden overload. One night, one wrong word. But physics favors repetition. An ache whose voice is blurred. Creep of distance, microvoid, coalescence. Little betrayals feed until the macro fracture finishes what the small things seed. I catalog each occurrence, timestamp, amplitude and phase. And in the dark between the numbers I can feel the old ways raise. I looked for corrosion at the bond, the place the trust had been. Found pitting in your laughter and a crack behind the grin. The first crack lives in notation, in the places words weren't said. A brittle edge of promises that once were ours to wed. Where did it start? Where did the first crack form? At the seam we left unattended in the storm. I followed every abuse of load until the final part. Failure mode analysis, finding where the heart cracked first. I traced the initiation to a notch of quiet hurt. Failure grows in silence. The biggest damage comes at first. No single overload to blame, just cycles that conspire. A paperwork of quiet acts, a ledger full of fire. If we had repaired the micro tears and relieved the hidden stress, maybe the structure would have lasted. Maybe we could have guessed. But now the report is written with the margin marked in red. Crack origin, unattended neglect. Hearts fracture where words are dead. I knew the signs, I locked them all. Still I couldn't